What if I told you that Ford once built a V8 engine so powerful it made the Chevy 409 and Mopar Max Wedge nervous? But here's the strange part. After just 2 years, Ford silently killed the engine. No fanfare, no clear explanation, no chance to become legendary. This is the story of the Ford 406 V8, an engine born for the track, expected to dominate NASCAR and NHRA, but quickly replaced and nearly erased from history. Why did such a promising engine last only 2 model years? Was it a purely technical decision, or something deeper and more strategic within Ford's leadership? In this video, we'll uncover the shocking truth behind the Ford 406, a powerful bridge between the 390 and the 427, and a victim of the very success it helped pave the way for. In the early 1960s, America entered the era of the horsepower explosion. On the street and on the track, Detroit's Big Three, Ford, GM, and Chrysler, were locked in a fierce performance war. Chevrolet had unleashed the 409 V8, a legend so powerful it was immortalized in the Beach Boys' song 409. Mopar responded with the Max Wedge 413, known for crushing rivals within seconds. And Ford, they were still relying on the 390 FE, a strong engine, but beginning to struggle in the NASCAR arena. Ford knew that if they didn't act fast, they'd be left behind. So their engineering team got to work. Bored, strengthened, and reimagined the 390. Not just for size, but for outright dominance. In 1962, Ford launched the 406 V8, an engine born with a single purpose: to take back the lead on the track. It was a bold statement, a direct challenge to the 409 and Max Wedge. And more than that, it marked Ford's aggressive return to the muscle era. At first glance, the 406 might seem like just a bored-out version of the 390 V8, both members of Ford's famed FE engine family. But the truth is far more complex. Ford didn't just increase displacement, they redesigned the entire engine block with one goal in mind: racing performance and durability. The bore jumped from 4.05 inches on the 390 to 4.13 inches on the 406. The stroke remained at 3.78 inches, bringing total displacement to 405.7 cubic inches, just within NASCAR's legal limit. Ford upgraded with special cast pistons, reinforced crankshafts, heavy-duty rod bolts, and enhanced cooling channels to withstand racing stress. Some versions even had extra thick cylinder walls, ready for higher compression or carb upgrades. The standard version came with a single 4-barrel carb, producing around 385 horsepower. But the star of the show was the Tri-Power setup. 3 Holley 2-barrel carbs, pumping out 405 horsepower at 5,800 RPM, a monstrous number for early 1960s tech. Compared to the 390, the 406 wasn't just more powerful, it was structurally built to survive a much harsher battlefield, the racetrack. And just as Ford had intended, the 406 wasn't just a powerful upgrade, it was immediately thrust into the very battlefield it was built to conquer: NASCAR and NHRA, the fiercest arenas in American motorsport. In NASCAR, the 406 was installed in lightweight Ford Galaxies, aluminum panels, thin glass, and every ounce shaved for maximum performance. Legendary drivers like Fred Lorenzen, Marvin Panch, and Fireball Roberts piloted these machines to multiple key wins during the 1962 and early 1963 seasons. The engine pushed these Galaxies past 140 miles per hour, giving Ford the edge to challenge any rival on the ovals. But this was no walk in the park. Chevy had the 409, and Mopar's Max Wedge 413 was a beast in its own right. The horsepower war became ruthless, where every tweak could mean victory or defeat. Over in NHRA drag racing, the 406 made its mark as well. Tri-power setups with 3 carburetors dominated the superstock class, especially from legendary dealers like Tasker Ford. Properly tuned, some Galaxy 406 ran the quarter mile in just 11 seconds, a mind-blowing feat for an early 60s street-legal car. But while the 406 was still fighting, its rivals kept evolving, and Ford soon realized unless they took it a step further, they'd fall behind again, just like before. But here's something strange that few people notice. Ford didn't evolve the 406. Instead, it simply vanished after just 2 years, 1962 to 1963. By 1964, it was completely removed from Ford's catalog and replaced with a new name, the Ford 427 V8. So what really happened? Why would Ford kill off an engine that was working so well, trusted in both NASCAR and NHRA? The answer lies in both technical limitations and racing strategy. In truth, the 406 had nearly reached the physical limits of the FE block design. While it was undeniably powerful, pushing it any further risked compromising durability and overheating, especially in high-riser head configurations that pushed everything to the edge. Meanwhile, NASCAR raised its displacement limit to 427 cubic inches, and rivals like Chevrolet and Chrysler wasted no time exploiting it. Launching bigger, more powerful engines, Ford couldn't afford to stand still. They had to go further. That's when the 427 was born, with a newly cast block, larger water passages, thicker cylinder walls, and the strength to withstand extreme heat and pressure. In essence, the 406 was never a failure. It was simply a necessary stepping stone, a short-lived warrior that had to be sacrificed so Ford could stay in the fight during the most intense horsepower war in American automotive history. During its brief production run, the Ford 406 was offered in only a few select models, primarily high-performance full-size cars and race-prepped editions. Most notably, it powered the Ford Galaxy 500, especially the Galaxy 500 XL and lightweight versions, equipped with aluminum body panels, thin glass, and stripped-down interiors to shave weight. These served as the basis for NASCAR and NHRA races during 1962 to 1963. The 1963 Mercury Marauder, a more luxurious offering from Ford's Mercury division, also featured the 406 as an optional engine, targeting buyers who wanted performance with a touch of refinement. Most 406-powered vehicles were paired with 4-speed manual top-loaders or 3-speed cruise-o-matic transmissions and came with performance rear-end ratios like 3.50 or 4.11 limited slip diffs. Though produced in limited numbers, these vehicles provided the perfect platform to harness the full potential of the 406. And that's exactly what made them so attractive to hot rodders and restoration enthusiasts in the years to follow. Because of its close relation to the 390, many gearheads today build 406 clones by modifying 390 blocks, installing the correct crankshaft, rods, and pistons to replicate the specs of a true 406. It's a common route for those who want the 406 experience without tracking down an original block. However, for serious collectors, a numbers-matching 406 with original block, heads, and carburetor setup is where the true value lies. Original tri-power setups, still in running condition, can fetch tens of thousands of dollars, even more when installed in rare factory cars. The 406 is also respected in the hot rodding world for being tunable, reliable, and smoother to drive than the more aggressive 427. Many say it offers a perfect mid-range pull that makes it ideal for street cruising. While not as famous as the 427 or as widely used as the 428 Cobra Jet, the 406 remains a respected underdog, a forgotten warrior appreciated by those who truly understand what it brought to the table. Because of its unique position within the FE family, the Ford 406 hasn't just captured the attention of hot rodders, it's become a fascinating subject for vintage engine enthusiasts. And the deeper you look, the more hidden truths you'll find, even ones that lifelong Ford fans might not know. Few realize that the 406 was the first FE engine to break the 400 horsepower barrier in a production car. The tri-power version boasted 405 horsepower, an eye-opening figure for 1962. It marked a bold leap for Ford, not just in output, but in signaling that the company was ready to challenge the very limits of engine design. What's even more intriguing is that the 406 served as Ford's testbed for radical ideas, including the first trials of high-riser cylinder heads, widened combustion chambers, and taller intake runners. These features would later become the backbone of the all-conquering 427. In many ways, the 406 was a rolling performance lab, quietly shaping the muscle car future. Though no Mustang ever rolled off the factory floor with a 406 under its hood, today, many enthusiasts have dropped them into 1965 to 66 fastbacks, creating powerful sleepers that leave jaws on the pavement. And when it comes to rarity, few engines compare. Lightweight Galaxy 406 models are estimated to exist in numbers below 200, and finding one today with its original drivetrain is like discovering a needle in a desert. The Ford 406 remains a forgotten treasure, a quietly whispered chapter in the story of the FE's rise, and a reminder that sometimes the engines that burn brightest don't always last long. Looking back today, it's easy to see why the Ford 406 has become a prized target in the classic car collecting world. It wasn't just produced for only 2 years, it also represents a rare bridge between two iconic FE engines, the accessible 390 and the legendary 427. Original 406 blocks are now hard to come by. Genuine tri-power setups are even rarer. Many were swapped out over time or modified to resemble 427s to boost resale value. For restoration experts, verifying factory numbers and components is absolutely critical. On the collector market, an authentic 406 engine block can command several $1,000s or more, depending on originality and condition. If matched with a 406-equipped Galaxy Lightweight or a 1963 Marauder, the full vehicle value can spike significantly, especially with proper factory documentation. Beyond its collectible value and rarity, what truly sets the 406 apart is its quiet yet pivotal role in Ford's high-performance engineering legacy. Beneath its iron and steel lay more than just horsepower. It represented a bold turning point in the evolution of the FE series, bridging Ford's mass-market mindset with a new, focused ambition to compete in the world of serious performance. Technically, the 406 was the critical link between the workhorse 390 and the mighty 427. On the 406 platform, Ford first experimented with groundbreaking features: larger pistons, widened combustion chambers, high-riser cylinder heads, and revised oiling systems. These advancements became the foundation for FE's ultimate racing spec engines. Some experts even argue that without the 406, the Ford 427 wouldn't have been what it became. The trial and error on the 406 allowed Ford to learn about material limits, cooling dynamics, and how to walk the fine line between power and durability. The legacy of the 406 isn't in how long it lasted, it's in how far its influence reached. It was a necessary stepping stone, enabling Ford to enter the muscle car era with confidence, precision engineering, and a hunger to dominate the track. The Ford 406 may have lasted only 2 years, but its impact lives on. In every launch, every rev, every chapter of the FE engine's story. It proves that sometimes the shortest chapters are the most important ones. Today, though often overshadowed by the legendary 427, the 406 remains cherished by those who understand it, who love it, and who recognize the quiet engineering effort that helped create a turning point in performance history. If you've ever seen, driven, built, or even just dreamed of the Ford 406, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss more stories of great machines lost to time.